Hello everyone. I welcome you all for this wonderful platform for the Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishad. Myself, Dr. Spruti. I've done my MD Panchakarma and done many courses on cosmetology and trichology. Presently, I'm working with Rivalism Medical Center, Bangalore, as a consultant in Ayurvedic field of hair and skin management. Today we'll start with an introduction part of the hair. What is hair? How we can know the causes of hair problems and all. So hope you all are. This is a time of quarantine. So every individual might come across with some problems related with the hair. The results might become better, and the skin problems like pigmentation, sunburn might be become very a reduced level. So when it comes to the Ayurvedic part of view, so Acharya said about swasthasya swasthya raksharam aturasa vikara prashamam. That is the main motto of the Ayurveda. So swasthya means having all the qualities in a normalcy, all the doshas, the prakriti, everything in a normalcy. So in that they told to maintain these swasthya rakshana of an individual. The Acharya is told to follow the Rutucharya and Dinacharya. In that, they told all the practice which has to be performed by the individual from top to bottom. Top, that means it starts with the hair, and the bottom it starts with the foot. So in view of hair, they are told to do the Shiro Abhyanga, which is very important part of our daily routine. So when we do Shiro Abhyanga, it will not only maintain a hair texture, also give a peaceful life too. When it ends with an Pada Abhyanga, it's again related with the relaxation of our mind, where we can reduce many problems related with our health. Not only hair, in all the overall reduction of the problems. So, what is this hair? That is, in Ayurveda we call it as Kesha. So there is different view on this based on our acharyas. So based on its, as hair starts with the developing an intrauterine period of the fetus. So when the baby is, the pregnant woman is having the fetus, the age of 6 months in uterine pregnancy, the hair starts growing. So you might have heard that normal people are saying when pregnant women complain of like reflex esophagitis or like acidity, or they feel like vomiting after the food, the burning sensation will be there on the chest. It's all because of the a very minute hair growth on the fetal body. So the people will say, the elders and the people say, might be this your baby is having more hair, that's why you're suffering with these problems like acidity or burning sensation in the chest. These are some features which can give information that the growth of the hair of the baby is started. So this is one of the related things where the hair start developing. In the uterine growth of the fetus, the hair is very minute and thin. So we call it as a vellus hair according to the modern science. As soon as the baby got delivered, within a month, those very minute vellus hair, laguna hair start losing. So again, the next shift of the hair growth will be started. And based on the place where these hairs are present, the Acharya has given particular name. For example, the hair, if it is there on the scalp, it is usually called as a kesha or a kachu. There are many symptoms or synonyms of this hair. And next, if it is present on the eyebrows, that is called as brew. These eyebrows are called as brew. If the hair is present on the pakshma, is called when it is present on the eyelashes. These eyelashes are called as brew. And usually the male his hair growth is extra on particular area, that is called as mush, that is called as smashru. So these are different parts of the presentation of the hair and given a different name. Why these are important means because even in the according to the modern science also they are given particular name. the scalp hair, the facial hair, the axillary hair, and the pubic hair. Because if any particular symptoms, for example, folliculitis happens because that is an infection of the base of the follicle is happen on the axilla, we can call it as a folliculitis. So anything happen on the scalp, we call it as a alopecia or any other dandruff related things. See, these are required to individualize the where the particular hair is present in our body. So next, moving to the what exactly the hair or a kesha. See, Ayurveda is based on the principle of sara of the ahara. Whatever we eat, it will come into the sar jatragni contact, then it will go into the further uttarottara dhatu formation. When we take food, it will form the rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda, asti, then majja, shukra. When the asti dhatu form, even the ahara is divided into dhatu and the mala. So when asti dhatu formation is formed, then it gives its particular mala. That is called as kesha and nakha. Kesha and nakha, these two are the mala of the asti dhatu. So this is very important to know where the problems of the hair will start. See, as asti is a ashraya for the vata dhatu, if any variation in the vata, asti will be affected, asti dhatu will be affected, then it further leads to the vitiation of the kesha. For example, in vruddhapya, the asti dhatu, vata dosha is usually in aggravated state in vruddhapya. So astikshaya usually will be happening normally. In that phase, the many male or female, they start reducing the quality of and the quantity of the hair. So in this ashraya and ashraya bhavas, the kesh is very important part as an asti mala of the asti dhatu. Next, moving to the influence of the doshas on the kesha. This is very important when the assessment of the based on the quality of hair, you can judge this person is having a vata pravritti or a pitta pravritti or like a kapha dosha is increased. As vata is predominant of ruksha and khara guna, usually the person is having these symptoms like dryness of the hair, roughness of the hair, and the frizzy hair, which is not so well nourished. We can say it as a vata prakriti person. So this is a normal feature of that prakriti. If it is more and combination of other dosha is also involved, we can easily assess that this person is having aggravation of the vata. So we need to concentration reduce on the vata dosha. So this is the symptoms of the vata prakriti purusha. Next, move on to the pitta prakriti. So where the pitta dosha is involved and the hairs like pitta guna, the slashna, snigdha. So the softness of the hair is predominant, and pitta is mainly related with the paka of the dhatus. So any kind of paka, pakatva, that is happening because of the pitta, because it happens on the jatragni level. So usually the person is having pitta prakriti, the hairs are brownish and they're prone to have more on the grey hairs. That is palita will be happening more faster in the predominance of the pitta prakriti person. Okay. Next, move on to the kapha prakriti. So kapha is prakriti purusha is having very good texture of the hair, which is very smooth and very soft, and the scalps are well moisturized as a kapha is a clay. So the hairs are very well nourished. So based on these dosha prakriti and via avastha of the individual, we can assess the hair quality. So kapha dosha is predominant in childhood, between below around 18 to 20 age. This is 20 to 25 age, that is in teenage. We may not come across much hair problems because kapha is predominant on that part of age. So the texture of the hair is very good, the quality of hair is very good, and the hairs are well nourished, well moisturized, and thickness of the hair is also good. You might have come across these all. Many students are there in this forum. They may not have any problems before age of 20 to 25 years, because it's in predominant stage of the kapha prakriti. Later move on to the pitta dosha predominant, that is in middle age. So many people nowadays, it's very common that they come across complaints with the hair fall, and the most of the patients are complaining with the complaints like palitya, that is like graying of the hair, because at every part of stage of life these doshas are predominant. But when it become excess, when it become more on the vriddhi part, they start giving the symptoms like graying of the hair, premature graying of the hair. These are the symptoms which we can see commonly in the middle age. So next move on to the third stage of the life, that is in vruddhapya, where the vata dosha itself is more predominant. So usually after the age of 50 to 60, the quantity of the hair will be reduced, the quality of the hair will be reduced, and the thickness of the hair will be reduced, which is naturally. Not all the individual have these experience, but it's common on that particular age of the life. Okay. Next, move on to the where all these acacia references we get. See, in Ayurveda we have very less information about the hair and the skin, but in present era, when it comes into the practice, this is the most important point of clinical cases we come across, right? So there are a lot of diseases in Ayurveda we mentioned, like Vata, Vriddhi, Tamaka, Shwasa, Kushta, this, that, and many Pakshagata. Many cases are there, many rogas we have in references. But we, as an individual, we may not experience all those problems, but as an individual, almost 95% people will come with the problems related to the hair and the skin. Either it may be a hair fall, either it may be a dandruff, either it may be acne or a pigmentation. These are all common symptoms which an every individual come across. Not as a doctor we need to treat, as a doctor we need to experience that also, which is having very most important thing in our day-to-day practice. So in that case we need to know where all we have our references for the hair. So hair is many cardinal symptoms in case of Arista Lakshanas. Arista Lakshanas are those which can predict the future, what is going to happen with the body. So if the hair of the Pakshma is intermittent, it's like almost like eyelashes are very thick and clubbed, we can assess that the person is going to die soon. Its death is confirmed. And next, when the person experiences painless pulling of the hair, for example, when we pull our hair on any part of body, if the person is not feeling any kind of pain, because it has to be, if you pull our hair, obviously we all get a pain with our experiences. So if it is not possible, if the person is not getting any kind of pain when we pull the hair, it suggests that the person is definitely going to die in an early stage. And in some cases, without application of the oil also, if the patient is feeling a very oily scalp and which is very thick and giving a very bad fragrance, that is called as in Visragandha, obviously the person is going to die. These all symptoms are related with the particular diseases. Okay, in that the hair is also one of the assessment criteria. We can judge what is going to happen in future with this particular patient. Next, in some of the cases we will see the symptoms, like in the prognosis of the symptoms, like whether the disease is sadhya or asadhya, like kashta sadhya. So Romakupita is one of the lakshana where it is happen, usually seen in place of kilasa, that is a kind of a kushta. If the hair become rakta romata, the hairs are like a little reddish, we can assess that yeah, of course, hair itself is related with the skin. The both are interrelated, as kilasa is a part of the skin related problem. So the might be for some extent the roga is asadhya. Okay, next loma harsha. Loma harsha is usually happen in case of kushta and ativisha, dushivisha, if the person engulf or take cross with any kind of dushivisha, the person is experiencing on the loma harsha. That is more on compared to the normal person. Next, this loma and aloma, both. If the hair is, everybody want a good hair, but of course if the hair is more, that is called as atiloma, and if the hair is very less, that is called as aloma. Usually it happens in some of the patients of alopecia, where not only scalp hair will reduce, completely vanish, even the body hair can also be completely vanished. That do two conditions like alomata and atilomata. Both the two conditions are called as asadhya. We have 8 diseases which is like asadhya in Ayurveda. So these both the condition like aloma and atiloma, both are called as asadhya vadis. So next, some people use it for the prediction. Like in the pregnant woman, usually we will have that line over the navels, the hair romatize more. In that, if the hair is moved on the downward direction at the navel area, so that there is some prediction that the lady is going to give birth for the twin baby. That's called as a twin pregnancy. This is like prediction with the some, it's not 100% sure, but we can predict that there may be a chances of the twin pregnancy with the lady. So next one is like it is most, we have panchakarmas, that is like Vamana, Virechana, Bastinasa and Rakta Mokshana. In that, Vamana is very important and Virechana is also very important. Soon after the intake of the medicine, either for the Vamana or a Virechana, after the waiting for 1 hour, like 45 minutes to 1 hour, we will have some symptoms like Roma Harshata. Loma Harshata, that is harupulation, that is in our hands. The head start like aggravated on, like it's like a goosebumps. That symptom indicates that doshas are moving from shaka to koshta. So it's an we can wait for further. So we can expect the Vamana karma will happen very smoothly. That is Loma Harshata is very important symptoms when the dosha starts moving from shaka to koshta. This is an assessment of the hair. If it is not hair, is there, it's very difficult, right? It gives symptoms that doshas start moving from shaka to koshta. Next, the hair is very important. It can be used as a treatment part also. You would have seen in a Vamana karma, if the after waiting for certain period, if the lakshanas are not happen, if the Vamana is not happen, the acharya is told to use kesha with madhu according to Harita. They used to take. So just we should ask the patient to eat that or just swallow that, so that Vamana process can be initiated. It's produce a kind of irritation at the gastrointestinal level. So we can expect a better way of the Vamana. Even Shushruta told to use kesha as an shastra. So initially, nowadays it's very difficult to practice that. Initially we have our references as kesha is also used as an shastra for the treatment procedures. So these are all the Ayurvedic part of hair, it's a formation of hair and the types of hair, what is hair exactly. So where all we get the references of hair. So just it's a broad view. I would like to highlight on some of the parts of the modern aspect too for the better understanding. See, nowadays there is no any particular we didn't get many references the parts of the hair and how it looks, what is the texture, what are the phases of hair in Ayurveda. So for the understanding purpose and for the better result purpose, we should have a minimal amount of knowledge or the modern aspect too. So moving to the modern aspect of hair, hair is a cardinal feature of the mammals, and hair is formed at the age of the fetal level only, when the fetus is as almost like a 6 month of the intrauterine growth, the hair is start developing. And hair is mainly, as it is main protein level, that is keratin. Hair is formed with the keratin. Even the keratin is responsible for the formation of hair and the nail. As it's in Astidhatu, Mala is Kesha and Naka. In the same way, even the Kesha, that is hair, and the nail, both are formed because of the protein which is responsible. It's called as keratin protein. Hair is nothing but any other bone or a tissue or something. It's like a plain protein which is formed based on the keratin protein. So hair is having different kinds of parts. Hair anatomy is very important. I'll just made some just made you to understand easily. I have one pictures with us which can help to our students in a better way. All the practitioners know all these. Might be our students can get the better knowledge of this. Hair is divided into many parts. So hair is not only present on the scalp. The origin of hair starts with the epidermis, that is on the skin level. The skin level epidermis, the hair will start where it is having a base, that is called as follicle of the hair is there in the skin. And then the outer one, the shaft, this is called, what we see in the external eye is called as a shaft, which is absolutely dead. See, you might be like, if hair is dead outside, how can we face a problem? For example, you might have experienced many times going outside for the hair cutting in the barber shop. When they cut the hair, you will not feel any pain, right? In the same way, if you cut your skin or any part of your body, we experience a lot of pain. But when come to the, every month we used to go to the barber shop or a parlor shop and we cut your hair. Do you feel any pain? No. That indicates that hair is a dead tissue. Of course, it's having very thinnest circulation inside the at the cortex level, but the external part of the hair which is on the scalp is dead. So this is a small picture of hair. I don't know whether you people can see or not. This part is mainly called as follicle. This complete part is follicle, and this is called as shaft, which is above the scalp level. Okay, and this is then epidermis level. You'll get picture in Google also, no need to worry. It's easy for me to explain you, so I'm just having some print with me. So this is called an hair papillae, which is where this is a part originated from the epidermis, that is the second layer of the skin, which is rich in capillary system, which give nourishment to this hair follicles. Okay, and next is a hair bulb. This is called completely, this area is called as bulb, where it's having the follicle within inside. Hair matrix is there, it's a base of the hair. Next moving to the, this is called as root also, root of the hair also. Next moving to the upward, this is called as sebaceous gland, which is very important part of the hair. Even though the sebaceous gland is a part of skin, but it opens into the hair, and to the through this it will open into the superficial part of the scalp. It's like opening will be on the scalp area. These sebaceous glands secrete and kind of oil, sebaceous oil, which is very important to hydrate your skin and the hair. Moisturizing will be happen because of this sebaceous secretion. Next we have this muscle which is very important for the texture of the hair. This is called as apocrine muscle. Sorry, arrector pili muscles. This arrector pili muscles supports the hair follicle to the scalp root. You might have experiences like in the cold or the person when become more fearful, the horripilation happens, that the goosebumps happen. This is because of the contraction of this muscle that is called as arrector pili muscles. Okay, next this is a scalp. This area is called as shaft of the hair, which is above the scalp region. So we need to understand the hair development start from the epidermis, that is on the skin, where it is having a follicle, that is also called as hair bulb, where we have a main melanocyte pigmentation. This pigment present within the hair follicle at the center of the hair bulb. So this pigmentation happens and responsible because of the color of the hair. If the melanocytes are good and the pigmentation is good, we will have a very good black color. If the pigmentation is reduced, it's a brown. If its pigmentation is very less or almost nil, the person is going to have a more on the gray hair. The follicle and the bulb and the sebaceous gland is very important, and the arrector pili muscle is very important, and the shaft. So again, this is like growth to the end. Start from the dermis, that is where to supply with the rich capillary, that is called as dermal papillae, where it is supplied with the very mesh of the blood vessels, which can give oxygen supply and nutrition supply to the base of the hair follicle. So when we take a cross section, okay, so this is like start to end, but when we take a cross section, the hair will look having the three main parts, that is called as cuticle, cortex and the medulla. I got very small image here. You can see this is the outer part of the hair is called as cuticle, which is dead completely, but it helps to prevent the infection, anything in the middle part, that is in cortex part. For example, take a pencil. This is an ideal texture for the hair when we take a cross section. The outer covering is called as cuticle. See, cuticle is not smooth, it's having multiple flakes kind of thing. It's like mesh, layer by layer will be there in the cuticle. So usually when we go with the hair coloring all, they first bleach your hair. That means they made this cuticle very removed, then so that they can enter into the next part, that is called as cortex. This middle part is called as cortex. This is an rich in keratin, and this is responsible for the pigmentation of our hair. Cuticle is very important for the healthy hair, and the cortex is very important for the healthy hair. The cuticle is very dry, that's why we always used to moisture application of the oil, application of the proper moisturizer is very important to keep the cuticle soft. Next, the part, it will prevent the cortex also. The middle part is called as cortex, and this lid is called as medulla. Medulla is not usually present in all the hair. The medulla is present only on the thicker and the good amount of hair, because only in the facial hairs like eyebrows and on the scalp hair, where axillary hair and pubic hair, where the hairs are very thick. Apart from that, we have hair all over the body, in fact, except our palms, sole and the particular sex organs and the lips. The hair is completely nil, but these hair are not so thick as compared to a scalp hair. You can even we have a facial hair, we have hairs on the hands and the legs, on the body, that is very smooth and very soft, that is called as vellus hair. And the thick hair which is present on the scalp or the eyebrow on the axilla and other pubic part is called as terminal hairs. Only in those terminal hair the medulla is present. Rest of the hair which is very soft and the thin, in that we are not able to get any matrix part of the hair follicle. So this is important when we see the cross section of the hair. The parts of the hair is very important. Next, after moving to the next, these are the anatomy of the very short anatomy of the hair. Next, which is very important, is phases of hair. So hair is having particular phases for their growth, the development and the fall. See, this is very important when we have a complaints with the patients that my hairs are going falling every more than 100. So according to nowadays WHO, they have 50 to 100 hair fall every day is a normal, which is physiological, because all hairs are in the different stages. So we experience hair fall on everyday basis. If the symptoms become more, the person is expressing more on more than hair fall is 100, 150, 200, the pathology is very serious and we need to be address that problem. So in that particular place, we need to know which phase of the hair is prominent in that particular person. So hair is having three phases. One is called as anagen, one is called as catagen, and third one is called as a telogen. That is called ACT. In short, we call it as an ACT stages of the hair follicle. Anagen is a very healthy hair. You can see, I'll just show you. Okay. So this is an cycle of the hair phases. This is an first phase. This you can see the hair follicle, infundibulum, fundibula, and the shaft is there. This is called anagen, action growth phase. So this is a growth phase which lasts from 2 to 6 years. In this, every day the hair is growing, which is very healthy in very good texture. We can expect almost half an inch of growth on every month. So this is a good quality of hair. So next, after between 2 to 6 years, after a particular time comes when it will enter into the next stage, that is called as catagen. In this catagen, this is called as transitional phase, where from growth phase it is going to next phase, that is called as shedding phase. So this is between anagen and the telogen, between the growth and the shedding of the phase is called as catagen. This lasts for almost 2 to 3 weeks, where the blood supply, you can see the blood supply of the hair is start reducing, the follicle start shrinking. So it's going to fall in the going to move in the next day, where due to the capillary supply stop, then the hair will going to fall. This will last up to 1 to 2 max 3 weeks. Okay. Next is called as telogen phase. Here, this is the rich in blood supply. This is reduced blood supply almost completely. This is due to the lack of the blood supply. Almost the follicle has shrink. Now it's going to fall. This phase lasts for almost 2 to 3 months. So every day, that is what we experience hair fall on everyday basis. In the same way, the hair falls, this follicle going to shed. In the same way, another follicle start coming at the base. That both enters into the anagen phase also. We will get a new hair follicle on the base, whereas the older hair is going to shed in those periods. You can see the last one is the formation of the new root. So these phases are very important when it comes to the stages of the hair fall. See, for example, if there is no stages, hair can grow at a time, hair can fall out at a time. How we look, how weird we look, we lose complete our hair on particular stages. That's why it's a God gifted that we have different phases, so that if we lose some hair also, we can retain the same hair for the further. So almost in when we take the hair phases, almost 80 to 85 percentages of the hair are on the anagen phase, that is on the growth phase. See, this is another picture I tried for you, sir. Nourishment of the hair follicle via blood supply enables the hair. This is a root blood supply. Almost 80 to 85% hair will be on this stage at given particular time of phase of the hair. So next is a catagen phase. This is like almost between 1 to 3 stages, that is going to be next stages. And the third one is in telogen, almost around 5% will be on this. So we will experience 50 to 100 hair fall every day, which is, and this is a very important role when we come with the cosmetic treatment like laser hair reduction. Many people, usually the ladies in our Bangalore, all men also want to go with the laser hair reduction. When they come, they'll ask the question, how many sessions I need for the complete result? This is depends upon on the which stages you are on, which stage of the hair growth. So that is we give a multiple session for the laser hair reduction. That's almost 6 to 8 session, because the laser work on the pigmentation. Laser is in color, right? It works on the pigmentation. If the follicle is having a very good amount of pigment, it will shrink that pigment, and when that pigment will shrink, the follicle will shrink, the blood supply will be almost gone. So that hair is going to die. It's not going to come in the further session. But all the hairs are not in the phase at the base level, at the epidermis level. So some are on the catagen level also. This is already, it has shed. The laser won't work on that particular catagen phase. And some, almost 5% are on the telogen phase, almost it is removed. So it can make a depth of almost removed phase, that is in telogen. But already the new hair start beginning, growing inside. That is called as an anagen phase. We cannot able to target, the laser cannot able to target those follicles. That's why we need a session for the laser hair reduction. This is the phases where we can have a particular laser. So multiple session of the laser is important. So this comes with the anatomy and the phases of the hair. So next we move on to the main practical problems, where we come across with many problems related with the hair. In Ayurveda, we have our references for the Dharunaka and the Khalitya, Phalitya and the Indralupta. These all are the main hair related problems which we have a references in the Samhitas. So Dharunaka is, these all comes under Shudra Roga according to the Shushruta, whereas Vagbhata says these all as it is related with the scalp, it is Kapalagata Roga, okay, according to the Vagbhata. Whatever it is, we need to treat the patient, that is more important for us, right? So when the Dharunaka is mainly happen because of the Kapha and Vata doshas. Again, Dharunaka or a dandruff can be of two conditions. Almost, I feel like almost 80 to 90% of the people will come across this condition in their lifetime at least once. Some it is very major, very pathological. In some it is like very minor level, maybe some external influence factors can influence this. So the Dharunaka is of two types, the dandruff is of two types. One is Kleda Yukta and Ruksha. That is wet dandruff and the dry dandruff. When the kaphadushtis happen, it will block the sebaceous gland, the kleda. The sebaceous is not, sebum is nothing but a kleda. It will be blocked. Excess the production will be happen, which will give a space for a lot of antibacteria to attack that particular point. And the dust particle can be easily trapped between those oil glands. So we will feel very itchy, as the cardinal symptom for the kapha dosha. The person or a patient feels very itchy and a fragrant smell will come and the scalp is very oily. This is called as wet wet dandruff. When the vata dosha is predominant, it has happened because of the dryness of the scalp. You can feel that very whitish. People will say, when I scratch my hair, I can feel that whitish flakes will come out. That is called as dry dandruff. That is like scalp dermatitis also, we sometimes it is called as. So differentiation of Kleda Yukta Darunaka and Ruksha Darunaka is very important. That is white dandruff and dry dandruff when it comes to the treatment aspect, which we are going to deal in the next classes. And the next symptom is Kalitya. So Kalitya is nothing but an hair fall, which every individual experience. That is most common, I think, in this lockdown period. Because of the stress, many people start losing their hair. See, Kalitya is, or a hair fall is not only an pathological symptoms, it is creating nowadays a more on the psychological aspect too. See, when the patient comes with the hair fall, again we have a different kind of hair fall, like androgenic alopecia and male pattern baldness and the female pattern baldness. The people come to the clinic with lot of depression. In fact, the 30 age is very crucial nowadays. So every individual experience this kind of hair fall, which again depress their social life also. Many people are not able to get married because of the hair losing of the hair in the very early age. These are related with the psychological and physiological aspect too. So when it comes to the hair fall, we have many causes for the hair fall. One is the hereditary, and one is vitamin deficiency, and one is stress level and hormone induced hair fall. And again we can further differentiate into the androgenic alopecia, where the hairs are becoming very thin on particular area. Again we will divide it into male pattern baldness and the female pattern baldness. Male pattern baldness, why? See, androgenic alopecia, what we call it as, androgens are the male hormones. For example, testosterone, when it converts into DHT, that is dihydrotestosterone, it leads to the male pattern baldness. So why it is male pattern baldness? Because usually men start losing their hair on the hairline. You can see the sides of the hair. Usually they come with the symptoms like, I'm losing hair more on the sides. This is a classical androgenic alopecia of male pattern baldness. Okay, when it comes with the females, even though testosterone hormone is present both in the men and the female, of course, right? So the quantity of the testosterone hormone is less in the females compared to the male. So the females have a unique feature of the hair fall, like they lose their hair on the complete scalp, not on the particular area. Their hairline become thin, the sides and the scalp and the occipital region, the complete area of the scalp will start losing their hair. That is called as female pattern baldness. So this happens mainly because of the androgenic hormone, that is like testosterone, where it converts into, usually testosterone converts into dihydrotestosterone hormone, which is responsible for the sexual life and the muscle growth and normal physiology of the body. When this DHT is increased, it will work with the 5-alpha reductase enzyme, the enzyme which is related with the hair. Then it will make the hair follicle shrink. So when it becomes shrink, the capillary or a blood supply of the particular follicle is reduced, so the hair start losing. So we can experience more hair fall more than the 100 to 150. This is particularly on the androgenic alopecia. So next, the reason is vitamin deficiency. Nowadays, even we eat a healthy food, you're not able to have enough amount of vitamins because of the adulterants what we are getting in the market. So for the maintenance of the healthy hair, vitamin B is very important. B12. These are nutrients, which is vitamins, which is very important for the development of the hair. And females usually, some are physiological and some are pathological when it compares with the female. Usually in the pregnancy, this is called as physiological hair loss. For a particular period, the female experience the hair loss even after the post delivery because of the reduced supplement of the vitamins and the calcium. For a particular period, they experience hair loss, but as soon as they come to the normal stage of life, the hair growth will be normalized. And in many conditions like typhoid, it will be reversible because of the medicine intake, because of the lack of nutrition on that particular. People may experience more on the hair fall, but it is reversible itself. Some cases like hormone imbalance is very bad. Many people are experiencing hair fall because of the hormone imbalance. For example, people if is having PCOD, again where it is related with androgens also. Then if the person is having a thyroid problem, usually they experience more hair fall compared to the normal stage. In some cases, like it's a side effect of the medicinal intake. For example, long-term steroid intake, or a patient is on the anti-cancerous therapy like a chemotherapy, or if they're having long-term cardiac problems under the medications, they experience more hair fall compared to the normal, which again, if the cause is treated, these are symptoms. It's not directly related with the hair problems. It's a side effect of the some drugs what we are taking because of our particular causes. Next is stress. Stress is very important nowadays because everything depends on our hormones. Even serotonin is very important for the way how we think, the situation. In the same situation, one person will take more stress. On the same situation, the one person is very relaxed, right? In this content, many people are worried about the coronavirus. Some may lose more hair, which is, yeah, it's a part of life. Now it becomes a part of life. We have to live with this. So they will not experience more on the hair fall. This is of course related with the stress, and it's interrelated. Due to the stress, person experience more on the hair fall. If the hair fall becomes further more, they end up with the stress. These both symptoms are interrelated. So next one more causes, these all comes under the hair fall. There is very important in the case taking, in the history taking. If person is having deficiency of the vitamin, if you start giving anti-DHT blocker, what is the use, right? If it is pathological, if he is having lot of DHT blockers with them, if it is in an androgenic alopecia, which is happening very early stage, you start giving more on the multivitamins, it's not going to work. So the assessment and the case taking of the problem of hair fall is very important to treat. What I should give them, whether I should give them an DHT blocker, either I should give them an multivitamin support, either I should give more on the counseling part where it's related with the stress. These are very important when it comes with the treatment aspect. And nowadays, the moving to the next hair problem, that is called as alopecia. Alopecia is in symptoms where the person start losing their hair on the patchy. For example, on the particular patches, you can see the particular patches, the person start losing hair. That is called as indralupta. That is lupta. That particular hair is lupta, means it's gone on that particular area. It has happened because there are two reasons for the alopecia. That is called as areata. So one is alopecia areata if it is on the particular part, the part by part if it is gone. Alopecia total is the further worsened condition of the alopecia areata, where complete scalp hair is lost. Even some people will lose their eyebrows and the mush also, axillary hair, that is alopecia universalis. Alopecia areata alopecia totalis and alopecia universalis, where complete body hairs are gone. So alopecia areata, when particular area is affected, even it can affect a child from 2 to 3 years to a person of 60 to 70 years also. This is two reasons for this. One is a fungal infection. It is called as a fungal infection. Usually whenever they go for the barber shop or something, when they come, the bacterial or the fungal activity become more, so they'll start losing the hair on that particular area. So, and sometimes it is autoimmune also. When it is in alopecia areata is not treated on the early stage, it will move on to the alopecia totalis. So where we can lose and complete scalp hair. So this is again, there is no evidence that it happens because of this only. It's mainly for the autoimmune disorder what we know till today is. And if it is again further not treated, the condition is very worsened, it will end up with the alopecia universalis, where we the person can lose a complete body hair. Okay. And next, these are the part of the infectious diseases of alopecia. Next, the symptoms which we come across more is on graying of the hair, that is called as palitya. So graying of the hair happens because of the pigmentation, reduced pigmentation. First the hair become from black, it become brown, then it will move on to the white hair. See, that is nothing to do with your hair texture or a quality of hair. See, pigmentation is a part of your hair follicle. If that pigmentation is not there, it doesn't mean people will say her hair become very white, so there is no it's not having any quality, it's like all dead, something they say, but it's not true. Only the particular pigmentation start reducing because of the external factor or because of the stress it will, and many times it's because of the heredity. Nowadays people are using more on the shampoos and the oil, reduced oil and market preparations, which can cause some extent to the graying of the hair. So, but the quality will be same. Only thing, the texture of the color of the hair is changed, but it is as good as which is your normal black hair only. Okay, these all are the some problems which is related with the hair, and of course we need to know the solution for this, which we are going to learn on the next class. So I just wanted to highlight on the topics what we have discussed today. So hope many students are there, and you may not get any direct questions for the hair and related problems, but of course when it comes to many practitioners know, or as an individual students, you might have experienced many hair problems which we have listed today. So there is, we get lot of references in the samhitas related with its udbhava and the part where it is present and development of the hair, and we know the anatomy of the hair today, so which is very important while treating the hair related problems. Like the phases of hair, which is very important when it comes to the hair treatment, because which phase the person is suffering with, and in the even in the laser also, laser hair reduction also, it's very important, and the causes of hair. So if you have any related queries, so you can text to this, or we can discuss in the next session. I would like to thank the organizer of the Advidya Sambhashana Parishad, so giving me this platform to share my knowledge on the hair problems, and I especially thank Saurabh, Dr. Saurabh, for giving me this great opportunity to share my knowledge. So hope you can take care of yourself in this lockdown period and stay stress free, so that you can reduce more on the hair fall problems. Okay, thank you, namaste to one and all. Thank you so much.